Hello, anybody that's decided to join us. This was intended to be a bit of a chat between Alex and Ludwig and me about a little project that Alex and Ludwig are working on, but Alex is not able to join us tonight. So you're in our thoughts, mate, and we've got you back, and hopefully you can rejoin and come on the podcast soon, or video cast soon, and we look forward to that, and maybe hosting you if you come over to Europe. That'd be really cool. So look out for yourself, mate, and take care. So we're going to keep this relatively short. I think what we're going to do is big up the next video cast that we're going to do, which is going to be about the upcoming Team Yankee release, which you will have seen trailed from the Battlefront emails that come out. And I'm going to let Luda talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Team Yankee, and then we'll let you get on with your lives, and we'll let you know when we're planning to do the next video cast. So, Ludi, over to you.
Yeah. So we're thinking about discussing quickly about what we are planning to do with our Nordic forces. So it might be a massive surprise for everyone that as a Finn, I might be doing a Finnish force. And I'm really, really tempted to do a motorized infantry force, having been a motorized infantryman myself. And then maybe at some point when we know a bit more about what's coming, see what I can play around with, and maybe do some amphibious forces, a so-called joint list with Swedes and Finns. That could be pretty fun. How about you, Richard?
So I have this issue with some of the geopolitics, which Ludi and I have been chatting about. So, I mean, we're both covered by an NDA, so I don't want to go too far, but I used to game in this period a long time ago, actually probably before Ludwig was born, which is the usual thing that comes up when I'm doing this video cast. So I had Finns back in the 1980s. So I'm tempted with Finns, but I have to say some of the other stuff that's likely to be around has also rather caught my eye, and I think is relatively.
There's some real beauties coming.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the front cover of the book gives quite a lot away. So I think it's going to, a bit like when the VDV book came out and I swore blind I'd done with Team Yankee and I wasn't buying any more. I suspect that there'll be probably a new nation on the table, and I might dabble with some of the other stuff. I've got the leftovers, some other projects that I started, and then when I had my falling out of love with V4 and version 2 of Team Yankee, that never really got off the ground, and I couldn't get anybody to play up here. So I've kept some of that on the basis that I might be able to strip the paint off it and use it. So I'm quite glad that I did that, because I suspect that some of those projects are likely to be able to get reused. So yeah, I'm quite excited by it, actually. I'm also quietly hopeful that I can get even more excited about what might be the follow-on book, which would be, you can't play in the Baltic without giving Soviets, naval infantry and stuff. So I hope that that they might consider doing that. And actually, they've done the models for quite a lot of that sort of thing before. They did PT-76s for Vietnam, and they already do the BTR-60 and the T-55. So
yeah, and it wouldn't be easy. I mean, using the existing models, you could technically use the current VDV as Soviet Marines.
Yeah.
So with very minor changes, or basically without any changes at all. Yeah. That's exactly it. Saying like tanks, especially the artillery pieces, are really, really handy for amphibious forces. And yeah, as you were saying, new nations. I've actually been talking with our good friend Chris from Denmark, and I might dabble. Well, I already promised him that I will do his former battle group in Denmark. So, but with an 80s twist. So
before Christian was born too.
Yeah, so I can already see myself dotting on the M82 camo from the Danes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be interesting.
So it's going to be quite fun, because I know one of the things we're going to do when we do the next VCast is hopefully get a few people on to talk about things. So I know you've been involved in pulling that Finnish stuff together with Battlefront. So I'm really looking forward.
Disclaimer: I wasn't directly in contact with Battlefront. I was helping with the unofficial set we were building here, which was then used as the base for what's coming out now.
Okay, right, okay.
And well, yeah, I was kind of hoping there would have been a wider variation of forces, because I mean we technically wrote up the whole Finnish army, so anything from naval infantry to mechanized infantry, motorized infantry, light infantry, whatever you could name it. We were even trying to figure out how you could make Europe's largest field artillery. But yeah, we're still trying to figure out, because what I've been talking about with a lot of people is that Nordic people was that we were really hoping for the XA 180 infantry fighting vehicle or transport, technically a six-wheeler armored troop transport, which can be transformed into an ambulance or motor carrier, anti-tank. I mean, it's an M113 on wheels, technically.
Yeah,
Just
no, I've sat in one. Better. I think they've got one at one at Barrow, haven't they?
Yep. I've spent quite a lot of hours in one, or several ones, and yeah, trying to figure out how we could make that happen somewhere. It's quite hard, but let's see. I'm really hoping that we can find a solution for this, because it's my only negative with the book, since all the Nordic forces use and still use that vehicle type, just a modernized version of it. So we would have all gotten something new, and everybody would have been happy.
So what was the date that it came in? Because conscious that it's sort of a timeline thing, maybe that I'm not sure how much of an indigenous arms trade you were allowed to have during your period of neutrality in the Cold War.
So the XA 180, which was the original version, is completely was, and I mean. Cool. Until the latest version, the XA 360, which is also manufactured in Poland. All the previous ones until the I know there's at least up to an XA 204. They were all built in Finland or with a special license in, for example, Sweden. And I know there's. I mean, you've seen a lot of pictures online. There's a lot of guys dabbling with UN forces.
Yeah.
The UN uses the 180.
Oh, okay, cool.
So still, I remember seeing Indian troops and troops from Ghana using our old APCs. So you could really do a lot with that platform.
Yeah, cool.
So bring on the posse.
So I think there's going to be a few. I think there's a few people who are either directly part of Breakthrough Assault or who were mates of, close mates of us, that are going to be having a go at modelling their old units. I know you say you were a mechanised infantryman, and obviously Chris served in the Danish army. Even Søren served. Søren's little unarmored Hussar unit that he was in might get a shout. Because we've teased him about the fact that he wasn't in tanks, that he just used to go out with something you could poke a pen through. So
So the M113, you mean?
No, not an M. Not even as much armor as an M113. Just just out in a Jeep, which presumably is a Danish thing to do if you're completely mad. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not sure my bank balance is looking forward to it, seeing as it'll drop just about the time that
I just
supposed to be
I
going to
just
the
sent
ETC. And
I just sent in my pre-order.
oh, the pre-orders are up,
Oh
are
boy,
they?
yeah.
Oh right, okay. I better have a look and see how much that's going to set me back. I've also just paid to go to a competition in Madrid in the winter.
Oh
So
yeah, the
and
December
you're
one.
off to Milan, aren't you?
I was in Milan, so I came home last night at 1 a.m. and well, it wasn't just Team Yankee, so I did a double tournament trip. So first
Oh,
flew
you were in
to
Switzerland, weren't
Geneva.
you?
Yeah, so first flew to Geneva with a friend from the Finnish ETT team, and we participated in something the Swiss called the Morge doubles. So it was a doubles tournament. Had great fun. For some weird reason, we managed to place second,
Cool.
which was surprising. The event was amazing. There's this new event center, basically in the center of Morges, which is a small town between Genève and Lausanne. And what's really cool with this place is that it's got acoustic walls. So even if it's a big hall, you've got a ton of players. It doesn't disturb you one bit. You can have a normal discussion with your opponent. And yeah, then I spent a week with our good friend Etienne from Switzerland, and then we drove off to Milan and played at Paolo Paglianti's and Livio Tonato's Team Yankee World Series Milan, and that was a good event too. And I mean, the lunch, Italian food, the pizzas and the burgers that were being offered to us included with the tournament were so big that people had trouble finishing them up. But still, everybody had some space for ice cream and coffee, of course. But yeah, it was a good tournament. Managed to pick up a place. I think I placed fifth.
Cool.
And
you had a pretty successful week then.
Yeah. Well,
what did
technically
you
over a
take?
week, and I got the best painted. This is embarrassing. Sorry, Paolo. The
He's lost it. See, Paolo, you've given him a prize and he's lost it.
It's in here. I haven't even unpacked yet. So, but yeah, if I might have to post pictures of the army, better pictures of the army at some point online. I took my IDF, which I'd been feverishly painting up until Thursday night 2 weeks ago, and left to the airport on Friday morning. So yeah, but it was a fun, cool project, and I might have to expand on some bits because I realized I managed to fill the whole catalog except 2 units. So why not fill the whole catalog? Then I have all the options. Yeah, would be a first. Would be a first for me.
I quite like the idea of that doubles. I played in a pairs competition way back under version 3. Actually, we came third. I was using Finns actually. An early war pairs competition, so I quite like that. So I think that might have to go on my list with Søren and the guys for next year. So maybe we need to get Etienne on and let him talk. About the companies. Etienne was the organizer, wasn't he? So we could get him on.
Etienne was the main organizer. He got help from the local War Games Association because they have way better rental prices for these so-called public event spaces. But yeah, it was really good, and it was fun to play a doubles. They were single matches basically, but the outcomes would, of course,
so it was like what we would call in the UK pairs rather than doubles, which is playing with the same army. But that sounds like good fun.
But the the third round, it was a five-round tournament, but the third round was both of you playing with the same army against a pair with one army as well. So it was an interesting idea, and we really liked it. The only downside, of course, was that since it was the third round, so the last round of the long day, you could notice that people were tired, but it was good in the sense that since you were starting, well, you know how you start dozing off on the last round of a tournament. If it's
me, I start from round one.
The first, but the last game of the match, and it was really fun, and met some great people again. The Swiss are really fun to play with. We had some people from France. There was some of the old Swiss players. I don't know, Richard, if you remember Christophe.
No, a few. We played him in Athens, I think. So I know a few from way back.
Yeah. So Etienne had managed to get some of the so-called ex Flames of War players to play as well. I had a blast. I mean, what's better than first spending a weekend with good friends playing Flames of War, than working from friends' place for a week, enjoying the views between the Alps and the Vosges, between the vineyards, eating good food, tasting some wines and whiskies. By the way, Swiss whiskey exists. It's pretty good. I know.
Yeah, so does Swedish whiskey, actually.
Yep, and Finnish. And then driving off again through the Alps, awful views, terrible. Driving to Milan and spending another great weekend with friends. A lot of plus ones joined in as well, mine too, and great dinners, lots of fun. I mean, what's a better way to spend 10 days?
Not bad. I have been teasing Morton actually about they were Team Denmark as usual were taking the ETC preparations very seriously. So they were ensconced away doing practice this weekend, and I was climbing in the mountains. So I did send a photograph saying, much as I like spending time in sheds with friends, actually being out in the mountains is better. But you see, you get both. Got all the Alps and everything, and
there you go.
And the play with dollies in sheds with friends. So that's a double win. Yeah. So I think we'll get Etienne on and we'll have a chat about the double stuff. So we've gone over. We were only going to chat for 15 minutes because Alex wasn't here. But as usual, when we start talking, we talk about loads of stuff. So keep your eyes peeled for the next video blog. That'll be the bit where we talk a lot about the Nordic stuff. It's not quite the same as what we did for VDV, but it'll be a little bit different. And I think you'll really, really enjoy it. And I'm going to have the last word, which is to say, I really apologize to everybody out there for Ludwig's hat. Right, as a dyed-in-the-wool Red Sox fan, I find that hat atrocious. So, and it's no better.
There's only one team.
It's absolutely the evil empire, and everything that they stand for. It's absolutely terrible. We're really going to have to educate you on baseball, mate. Anyway, take care. I'll see you at the ETC if I don't see you in person before.